High 3, interim, and loan on today's Fednobabble.
Hi, welcome to Fednobabble, where we make federal retirement benefits understandable for humans. I'm Cassie Knight. I'm a federal employee spouse whose mission is to provide federal benefit expertise to financial professionals so that federal employees just like you can gain expert advice regarding your benefits and achieve your retirement goals, making dreams your reality.
Dreams your reality. And I'm Kevin Jones. I'm a federal benefits presenter, if you want to call it that, educator. I go all over the U.S. Well, I actually don't anymore with coronavirus, but I'm kind of stuck at home and doing webinars for people all over the U.S., all federal employees, teaching them about their federal benefits, teaching them how they work and what questions they should ask to make sure that they have the retirement that they thought they had, and hopefully that they will have. We'll find out though, won't we? And what we on Fednobabble, what we do is Cassie and I, we take questions from those workshops and from you submitted online at fednobabble.com, and we take those questions and we answer them here. And so at any time, if you want to go to fednobabble.com, you can ask your questions and we will just start answering them here every now and then. So let's jump into the questions and see what we've got. Question number one. Okay. Are the high threes? Yeah, I struggle with that one. High threes, as if are there multiple high threes, Cassie?
Well, no.
Not really, no. But we'll just do it as it was typed, and we're really taking these as they're typed. We're not editing them. We're just throwing them up as they are. That's how they work. So, are the high threes measured by FY or CY or fiscal year or calendar year? Now, let's talk about the difference real quickly. FY, fiscal year, so calendar year obviously is from January 1st to December 31st. Fiscal year is October 1st to September 30th is what the government goes by. So it's a little bit different. So they're wondering the high three, is it measured by, what is it measured by? What do you think, Cassie?
Well, it's neither.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, it really depends on their highest 36 consecutive months
Right.
of pay in their government career.
36
Okay, so that's not
months.
even 36 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So why
Okay,
isn't this called the
so their highest
36?
36.
Right.
Go ahead.
Why isn't this called the high 36 instead of the high 3?
That's a question for the government.
that would be more
I
understandable.
don't apply logic to government policy.
That's right. That's right. That's why we're trying to make things more understandable for humans. So you know what? I think we should start a hashtag high 36 instead of high 3, because that naturally explains what it is. High 36 months of consecutive service rather than a high 3. And it really, and I get people in workshops saying, so Kevin, so should I wait until they're basing a misunderstanding of this and trying to figure out when they should retire based on a misunderstanding. So they'll say, should I wait until I get my bump up in salary in January to retire rather than doing it December 31st? And so when in the end, if it's measured over a 36-month period, it's really not going to matter that much.
Okay, so there's other considerations that need to be taken into account if they're looking at the financial aspect of it.
Yes.
Okay, because they're getting paid out for annual leave.
Right. Exactly.
And so that restarts at the beginning of the year. That one
That's
does
right.
go for the calendar year. So if they're looking at retiring January just to look at the bump in their high three, that doesn't necessarily mean that it makes the most financial sense, because that's 1/36th of your pay, of your high three pay, compared to what are you getting paid out for your annual leave, and how much are you going to lose because now you don't have all of that user lose that you're getting paid
I
out for.
lost it. Yeah. In fact, you said it's 136. I'll say it's the difference between, it's 136th of the, it's really actually 136th of the difference between what you were paid and what you would be paid when you got the bump up. So it is really a
And that's,
minuscule amount.
well, not only that, but that's even assuming that their highest three is going to be at the end of their career. Most of the time that is the case,
Right.
but not always.
And that assumes that you're going to get a bump up in the next year. There are plenty of years where that didn't happen, and now you've lost all your annual leave that you could have gotten, and you get nothing. So that's no good.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's why we illustrate those pieces out in a benefits report to federal
Yes.
employees so that they can see, what does that high three look like, or what's it's estimated to be like with a reasonable, um, increase per year on average. And then also, what does that annual leave payout look like based on what their annual leave, will be, so that way they can kind of see how much that annual leave makes a difference, because it can be a significant payout,
Yeah.
and it gets paid out pretty, quickly. Okay, in
For the
government
government,
terms.
wink, wink.
Yes, well, it's within a 3-week average
Okay.
from retirement, and that is pretty quick for the government. So
That is. That's right. That is. So yeah, that report, the report that you create shows that. It lays it out and makes it nice and easy to see and to understand and say, oh, I can see the difference now. And we typically
right.
don't get that anywhere else. There's nowhere where it really shows that. So that's one thing I love about your report. Okay, that's question one. The next question: why
Yeah.
is it almost a full year of why is it almost a year for full pension? I'm going to reword this question, make it a little bit more easy to understand. Why does it take me a full year to get a full pension after I retire? Why don't you answer that one, Cassie?
I think that's really what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
And that really is because it takes OPM, or it can take OPM that long to process a retirement application.
Yeah.
Okay, so when somebody retires, they're receiving, or supposed to receive, 40 to 60% of their federal pension until their retirement paperwork is finalized from OPM. And if they don't take pre-action to prepare for that, then it could take a long time, depending on what paper, if a healthy retirement application was submitted, or whether they need extra documents. Did they submit their divorce decree, if that's even necessary? Did they submit their divorce decree when it wasn't necessary? So many different factors go into this piece of it, that taking and meeting with somebody and making sure that this retirement application, or really that everything is there prior to retirement that is needed, deposits, redeposits, any of that sort of information. I don't think federal employees realize that their divorce decree can be mailed in prior to retiring.
Right.
In fact, it is encouraged that those things are mailed in if any survivor spouse benefit or pension is awarded to
Yes.
their former spouse.
Oh my goodness.
Only if.
That's we can start. We could go down a rabbit hole with this kind of stuff, because
Yep.
one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing. It's incredible. I had in one of my workshops, I had one time a federal couple come in, and we were talking about this, and the husband had already retired, and the wife was looking at retiring in a few months. And when we got to this part where we talk about, it takes a year, and honestly, with the coronavirus happening, I would not be surprised if it's more than a year on the interim checks now, on the interim pension checks. So they said, yeah, we had some money saved up because we knew that we weren't going to get as much in our pension check. We just didn't realize what that was going to look like. And as time went on, it got closer and closer to a year, and we were running out of that savings, and we were panicking. Even though she was still working, they were still panicking. Now imagine, imagine if it's just one person retiring and you don't have the savings. Oh my, I don't know what to do. I remember another guy came up one time. I'm sorry, just stories are bumbling out right now. But another guy came up. He worked for the post office, and he said, Kevin, I'm retiring next month. And okay, you told me I need to have savings, and I get why. I don't have any. What do I do? Well,
Yeah.
time to rethink.
So, yeah, sometimes it's beneficial to push that retirement date out a little bit to really make sure that you're solid, and that this time between retirement and receiving that full pension, is happening as quick as possible. Because what happens if you do run out of money?
Right. Where do you go?
Exactly. You don't want to have to downsize because you're required to.
Right. And think about this. If you have to downsize and you're going to downsize for 2 months, you really can't do that before you get a full pension check. Or so do you take out a loan, or do you go to your kids and ask for money? Or, hey, I know I just retired, but I need some money now. I mean, it's so much better to be able to look at the numbers beforehand and know way beforehand, oh, this is how it's going to be, and have a plan and say, all right, this is where I'm going to be in the first year. I get it. And like you said, 40 to 60%, but as we've talked about in the past, it could be 20% of your pension check that you're getting during that time. And you've got to have a plan before you get into retirement, because the government's not going to do that plan for you.
Yeah, I see so many federal employees who simply don't understand why it's important, number one, to have a solid retirement package going into OPM, and why they should do pre-planning, and what they can do to make this a shorter period, because people don't realize that this is actually in their control.
Right.
As long as they take the action to make it happen.
Right. Yep. And they have to know what to do to make it happen. And that's really where, again, I think meeting with a financial professional who understands federal benefits specifically can kind of coach them on this and say, all right, this is what you do. Make sure you turn this in early. Make sure you do this. Make sure you don't use whiteout. Make sure you do all these other things that will make your packet go through faster, rather than taking more than a year before you get the full amount of money.
Yeah, this is one thing where I've helped several employees fill out this retirement application, and I don't know how many times I see where they put their spouse's name in the insurable interest box. Which is, they're not even meaning to leave a survivor spouse benefit, but they'll automatically just assume that that name goes there because it looks like it should.
Right. Yeah.
And that's something where they're like, why isn't my retirement paperwork going through?
Wow.
I initialed here, and then I filled out this information and I signed it. I don't understand what the problem is. And so this is really where they can get that guidance. Our trusted financial advisors that are on our team can submit those retirement applications to us to get reviewed, or to me rather, to get reviewed, so that way they can really make sure that all of these things are done prior to retirement and after, so that way this year to get a full pension isn't reality for people.
Right. That could be tough. And that really, with your reports, you're pointing out those things, saying, here's something that's wrong, and you got to let them know. And then when you talk to a person in our network of financial professionals there, then you see, oh, okay, that's why it's all messed up, and you're catching these things.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, because we have to quickly go on to the next question, but
Yeah.
most federal employees, when they turn in their paperwork, there's always something wrong with it, correct?
Yes. I would say 9 times out of 10. Yes.
And that's not how you want to start off your retirement.
Nope.
Most people turn in incorrect applications for retirement. That's not good. So, anyways, we could go on and on about that. Okay, we've only got a little bit left with this last one, but I think it's pretty
Okay.
quick. How does TSP affect my retirement if I still have a balance? Basically, a loan. If I have a
Yeah.
loan in my TSP and I leave, Cassie, how does that work?
Okay, so a couple of things to think about here. If they have a loan balance owed and they plan on paying it back, then they only have 90 days.
Okay. But what if
Okay,
they can't pay it
so
back in the 90 days?
if they can't pay it back, it depends. Are they going to move that money out of their TSP and roll it or transfer it into a separate account? If that's the case, then they can do that within 60 days and avoid any penalties that might be there.
Okay.
Okay. If they're going to keep the money in TSP, then they have to do some tax planning because TSP is going to let the IRS know that this person has taken a distribution or withdraw from their TSP account. And then, of course, they're responsible for the taxes and, if depending on their age, possibly penalties on that amount as well.
Good. Oh, so many repercussions that could be so bad in that. And again, if someone were to get the report, they would be able to see those things way before they happen. So talk about the report real quickly, if you would.
Sure. So if, it really lays out all of the numbers for what is going on right now with somebody, what's going to happen at retirement, and what it looks like beyond. People want to know their numbers. They have to know their numbers in order to do proper planning. And that's why I really feel like people need to take action and look at those numbers and know what they are so that way they can make a solid financial plan or, just a retirement plan. I mean, they want to have financial success, then they have to look at those numbers and they've got to be realistic and know what to do. If this happens, then this happens, right? I mean, I don't know how many people I've talked to where they retire and then it's like, oh, I didn't expect this. And now we have to do, this, and now it's affected us negatively. Well, if you were prepared a little bit more than you were, then that you could have curved that, or taken that into consideration. So
the thing that we are trying to help everyone understand is obviously their retirement benefits, how they work. So talk to them about what we're offering to everyone.
Okay, so if you'd like to ask us a question for us to answer on the show, or have me create the free comprehensive report about their federal benefits and get all of those questions answered by one of our trusted advisors, they can go to fednobabble.com, fill out the quick form, and if we use your question in one of our episodes, then we're going to give you a free Fednobabble t-shirt or face mask.
Yep, and if you would, please like and subscribe and follow and share these. This is not only on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, but we also do a podcast of this. Please help others understand their benefits, because I guarantee there are coworkers around you right now who are retiring. It's kind of like Sixth Sense. There are coworkers all around me, and they're, I don't want to say dying or dead, but they are retiring and they don't have a clue what they're doing. And like I said, or like you said, 9 out of 10 of the applications that go in are wrong. That's not how you want to start off your retirement. So again, fednobabble.com, and you can get one. Sign up to get one of the retirement reports that Cassie creates, and we'd be happy to give that to you. Any last words of wisdom, Cassie?
Take action.
Good.
Plan your financial success.
Yep. Make sure you're doing it and it's just not happening to you. Good. All right. Until next time, take care and we'll see you later.